Let it hit 'em. Let it hit 'em. Let it hit 'em.
Ha! Bah! Bah! Hello. Hello. Hi. Hey there. Hey, how you doing? Hey, hello. Mwah. We are here today to talk about a thing that is plaguing everyone. Plaguing them, they say. They say they're plagued, is what they tell me. Have you ever been plagued by something, chat? Have you ever not known what to do with all of the plague about? Well, that's what this is for. The plague of time. It's here. Just time. Time itself. A plague. It's a curse. Do you know why? Because everyone's taking it from us and all kinds of stuff. This is mean. This is bad. So you might be thinking, hey, well, what if I want my time? What if time I think perhaps should be mine better, more so, perhaps? Well, if that's the kind of thing that you think about your time, well then maybe you should look perhaps over here you could. The thing about that is take a gander, a little goosey gander. We're gonna do some Googling, chat. I have some stuff that I wanna tell you about time and how to manage it. So, if you Google time management, we're getting right off on the start. Everyone come immediately. We have Google time management and we have a result up here. You see this? See this? Corporate Financial Institute? Wow, crazy. Down here, what's this one? Students at Dartmouth? Well, if they can shoot darts out of their mouth, they must be pretty great. Laura Vanderkam? Well, okay, we need to learn about her. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Lifehack.org, practical ways to improve time management skills, dude. Come on. Now, is anyone excited for this? Are y'all excited to learn about time management? Yeah, of course you are. Yeah! I mean, who wouldn't be? Thank you. Thank you for applauding. I really appreciate that. Chat. First of all, before I get too ahead of myself, how are you? How are you doing? How do you feel? Are you feeling good? What's going on here? Pivot, would you like to know what's going on here? I could just pluck you right up if you feel brave. I could put you in the stream, you piece of shit. We're gonna talk about time management. You very much would? Are you sure? Because I could do that for you. You motherfucker. Kind of vibing to this music. This is good. Hallie Labs makes some good stuff. Hey, by the way, if you like the music that's playing, why don't you just scroll on down to below the stream and you can just click on that link that's down there that says Hallie Labs. It'll take you right to where you want to be. It is the new album. It's incredible. Not very good, still feeling funky. Well, Leggy, we've got some funk for you, and I'm not talking about the kind that we looked up yesterday where we got holy. I'm talking about the real, the true, the funky, the smelly, Leggy. You are beautiful, and I will say this every time, if you need me to. We're glad that you're here. So don't you even begin to worry about it. Moods will come and go, but you I intend to keep. I'm gonna put Leggy goes right up there on the good boy pedestal. Everyone point and say good. Very good. Very good, Leggy. I think we've made some real progress with Leggy today. So, I am unclear. You, Pivot, you are currently with Babanasaur. You can't join the stream. I will move on without you. It's fine, don't worry about it. The music is, you know, it's doing things. It's fine, we don't need to worry about the music. Okay, so. This is what we're working with. You look at all of these different places that will try to tell you about how to make things work better. And I think a big part of how to get time management working for you is to see what's going on. So let's take a look over here. 3 types of time management: planning, prioritizing, performing. Now see, these words are very specific, and we'll get into what that means later on. But don't worry about that for now. 5 tips to better manage your time. Set reminders for all your tasks, create a daily planner, give each task a time limit, block out distractions, establish routine. This is also, once again, very, very specific wording. And I hope that by the end of this stream, you will be able to understand what that specific wording means to you. Are y'all excited about that? Didn't realize you mean literally have me join, but made or not the moment. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, no worries. Yeah, exactly. That's why I figured I would ask, because it's important that you know how to manage your time wisely. Pivot, if you're not in the stream right now, I think you're doing a pretty good job. Hey, can we get some claps for Pivot? Hey, nice work. Good job for Pivot. Good job there, done. Okay. What are these 3 tips down here, maybe? Urgent tasks don't always have to be accomplished first. Oh, now that sounds like a whole bunch of amazing words that are put together. Focus on managing your attention, not your schedule. I see. Consider the benefits of outcomes instead of crossing off tasks. Wow. Wow. So, I think these will be a good place to go once we are done looking at some of these results I've already clicked on. So let's hop right into it, all right? The Corporate Finance Institute /resources/management/time-management-list-tips/ tells us that time management is the process of planning and controlling how much time to spend on specific activities. Good time management enables individuals to complete more in a shorter period of time, lower stress, and get career success. Now that sounds really great, right? I think everyone would agree that that sounds amazing. And so we gotta see what they're saying, right? Let's go. Step 1, cover your hands in sticky notes. That's good advice. This right here, I think you should do this all the time if you want to look like a fool. I think that'd be hilarious and fun, and that's great. That's really, honestly, this guy's doing a great job. I gotta give it to him. That's just incredible. So, here's the thing. The ability to manage your time effectively is important. Good time management leads to improved efficiency and productivity, less stress, more success. Oh, they love rhyming. When you talk to people who are trying to get you to buy their product that tells you how to manage time, they love to rhyme, don't they? You always hear these people at TED Talks rhyming about shit like it means something. It's so cool. So, stress relief. Making and following a task schedule reduces anxiety. As you check off items on your to-do list, you can see that you're making tangible progress. This helps you avoid feeling stressed out with worry about whether you're getting things done. So this is a big one, right? I know a lot of people who are in my chat have experienced things such as ADHD or autism or any amount of, mental differences that most people statistically do not experience. And so this kind of thing can be really difficult. Stress relief? Well, I mean, what if I have an anxiety disorder? I mean, what if time management is specifically the thing that I can't do? You know what I mean? If you just tell me to follow a schedule to reduce my anxiety and say that that is stress relief, when I am worrying also about bills, also about food, also about socializing, also about keeping the job that I have, regardless of how I manage my time in it, also about all of the different factors that weigh down on someone who has a mental disorder. Well, let me tell you something, stress relief, just, you know, it seems a little bit out of reach. Not so sure if that's good advice. Let's try number 2. Good time management gives you extra time to spend in your daily life. Now that is really interesting. They're saying you'll get extra time, which I didn't realize that, you know, life worked like fucking like this. Do you remember these? Do you remember this thing in Crash Bandicoot Warped? Yeah, apparently what they're saying is that if you get good time management, you'll actually receive this item and it'll lower the time that you've lost. And so you'll get extra time as a result. That's really cool, actually. Wow. I didn't know they made that power up a real thing. That's awesome. Great work, human beings. We've made it a long way. I'm so proud of us. Hello, Valeria. We're just discussing how time management works, and I hope you'll stick around with us through our 7 ad breaks as we really just pull together and figure out for all of us how this is going to work as best as we can possibly make it work. So we'll come back to having more time, because that sounds so interesting, and I want to know which specific wizard they contacted to start creating extra time, because that seems like it might be a huge undertaking, you know? So we'll see about that later. More opportunities. Now, see, this sounds like another wizard thing. I'm really interested. That's really cool. Managing time well leads to more opportunities and less time wasted on trivial activities. Now, see, that is what we don't want. That's what sounds like this. You don't want to be doing trivial activities, dude. Things like talking to mom, feed puppy. No. What are you doing? Your time is supposed to be yours. Don't you understand? So we don't want to have those. That sounds like bad time. Good time management skills are key qualities that employers look... Oh, and you know if employers are looking for these qualities that they've got to be good, you guys. This is what we're all about. The ability to prioritize and schedule work is extremely desirable for any organization. And then they've got a link you can click for You know, I'm kind of interested in what they define as an organization. A corporate structure. Oh, interesting. So, oh, what's this? It's 30 free course. Now, see, on the 31st course, they're gonna start rhyming at me because they want me to buy it. No thanks, you guys. No thanks. Really, you're really funny. Thank you. So let's see. Interesting that they call any organization a corporate structure. So like any organization at all is a corporation. Well, that's a strange point to make. I don't really think that's true. Why are they only trying to talk about corporations? I mean, if I go to help the homeless with my mom and my sister, then that's an organization. We've made that happen for that day. And anyone who we've given the shirts to and said, hey, help out, well, they can be part of our organization if they decide to volunteer. So I don't think this is true, actually. I think we might have actually hit our first example of debunking. I think organizations all being corporate structures, I think that's not true.
Scales cheated X10. Yip. Why? IP. Why? What the fuck did I stumble into? My love, what is this?
Well, what this is that we've just determined that not every organization is a corporate structure, so we're gonna go ahead and call that debunked. There's a bunch of bitches who said something incorrect, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and tell them that that's just not true. So we're gonna move on. Maybe we can realize our goals, right? Individuals who practice good time management are able to achieve goals better and their objectives as well, and do so in a shorter length of time. So you'll be able to create more time with the powers of a wizard, and also the things you already do will get shorter. Wow. Wow, you guys, that's really cool. So you're saying if I'm eating food, for example, or I'm taking a piss, and let's say I do that on the clock at work, then like realizing my goals will make that go faster. Like I can eat less food or just decide to not piss. Well, that's really cool. Wow. Wow, that's so great. I just think that's an amazing way to think about time and how we spend our time here on this planet. So let's take a look at list of tips. Now see, this is a useful graph because it's a fucking oval. And that's how you know they're true. Yes. Time management guy said piss your pants. They sure did. They want you to make them nice and warm. Okay, set goals wisely. Your goals need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay. Wait. Are you not gonna tell me how to do that to my goals? You said use the SMART method, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And you're not like explaining the method. No, there's not even a link to that. Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, that seems pretty stupid, actually. That doesn't seem like a smart method at all. I think that's debunked. I'm sorry. You know, this website seems like it's kind of not really giving us what we want. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one. That was a pretty good start, right? Let's look somewhere else. What's happening? What's the bit? I work around these books at the bookstore. Why is this happening? Why are we talking about time management and all of these books and things that people purchase with their capital that they use their time to earn to try and figure out how to make themselves manage time better? Well, we'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that. It's fine. Just stay tuned. I know you're all so excited. I know you're all so excited to learn about time management. Fuck time management, let's talk about slime management. Okay, well, we can do that one next stream, but you're ahead of the game, Babanosaur. I appreciate that excitement. I know you've read ahead in the packet. I know you're ready to see what's ahead of us. So what is time management? The term time management is self-explanatory. It means managing your time. God, I'm so happy you told me that. So at the end of the day, all you got are 24 hours. Oh, that's just another incredible fact. Oh, they love facts. They love rhyming and facts. Things you can't disprove. Like you have 24 hours in a day. That's just, oh, I'm just gonna take that one around with me. I love it. So, within this time, you must complete your work tasks, study, manage a hobby, take care of yourself, socialize, spend time with your family.
Because there are three people. People that write those useless books, the people that buy them, and the people that sell them the books.
Exactly. It's also interesting that you say that the people who write those useless books are not the people selling the books. It's almost like... I'm sorry, I'm losing myself. I need to, recenter. Well, that was actually a waste of time. Silly me. Let's start here. You have to work to earn money. Well, that's pretty true. Another fact, I guess. And you need money to be able to eat. Yet another fact. If you do not eat, you will starve to death. That's not really about time. Set up deadlines, but you have overcome procrastination. Okay, so yeah, overcome procrastination. Overcoming procrastination can be oh, and they've got a link. Does the link tell us how to not procrastinate? Our ultimate guide? Most procrastination behaviors are the result of an avoidance loop. You are giving undesired thoughts, feelings, and sensations power over... Oh, we're giving them power over us. When you could try to control or avoid them, creating an avoidance cycle and peddling it with actions regularly. Okay, well, Alright. So, I'm gonna pull back the veil a little bit here. Right? Because I've got the secrets that you need, and I'm gonna give them to you for free. And I know you're all really excited about that. This is something that I've heard a lot. And this is the point at which I'm actually going to open up some discussion here. There is a constant boogeyman happening in the midst of time management called procrastination, where we all assume that doing something before doing the task we want to do is procrastination, and that anything that is not useful use of your time, quote unquote, is again procrastination. And how do you conquer that? How do you get over that? How do you get beyond that? Well, some people obviously have a harder time with it, as we've talked about many times on stream before, and as we talked about just a few minutes ago. The solution is just more willpower, and it's your problem. Yeah, exactly, Rumble. Exactly. We're all just stupid little idiots who can't figure out how to manage our time wisely. And that doesn't seem fair or correct about any of my friends. I kind of feel like my friends are actually really cool and really smart, even if they don't use the smart method, you know what I mean? So there's gotta be something else going on here. Maybe it would help if we started from the beginning. Let's get rid of this. Oh, no more of that. No more selling me things. Laura, we'll come back to you, Laura. So, what do you guys think time is? Oh no, does that mean I'm not your friend? No, it's okay, Valeria. I have bear stink brain, so it's very possible that we are on the exact same level. So, realsies, I found that working on my schedule and working with my pattern. I'm assuming that's patterns. Helped me the most. Okay, very good. And I'm about that. But we still gotta start at the beginning.
Big Cava Monster Cheered X10. The concept of time is simply an illusion made up of human memories. Everything that has ever been and ever will be is happening right now.
Well, but Cave, that's really interesting to think about, because if that's the case, then what does time mean in relation to us? Is it just the countdown clock? Are we just spending our time in different places as if it were a commodity? And if that is true, then who owns the commodity? I asked before the stream in chat, do you feel like you're in control of your time? And I feel like that's something that people don't really think about. And I'm not saying they don't think about it in terms of they don't think about controlling it and in getting everything done, getting your tasks performed, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, if you actually take stock of the world we live in, is it even possible for you to control your time at all? Because you have to eat. You should definitely be housed. And you need that stuff pretty constantly. Socializing is a big one, right? You need resources to make all of these things happen. And if you want to get those resources, well, you're gonna have to get money. And if you want to get money, then you're gonna have to get some form of a job, right? So then, if we're required to get a job in order to continue having time, then we're not in control of our time, the job is. And the job doesn't really care about how much time we're spending. Which is kind of what was bothering me about the Corporate Financial Institute. I mean, all these words about fucking, you know, just get your organization in check. Make sure you're doing it smart. Make sure you just make it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Just do it. Do your important and urgent tasks right away. Who determines what is important and urgent? They, again, don't tell you about that. It's like they want you to think about what you think they're talking about. They want you to come up in your brain with that thing that, you know, you're pretty sure you're doing this one wrong, right? They're capitalizing on the feeling of guilt that you were taught when you were a child about not getting your time used wisely. They're echoing shit that you've heard before so that you automatically fill in the blank with the thing that you think is not important and the things that you think are influencing you poorly. Because they don't know what the fuck your life is about. But they want you to think you're not managing your time wisely. Well, because then if you manage your time more wisely, then you'll be a more efficient person. Presumably. But like, why do individuals care about efficiency? Isn't that what corporations should care about? Just seems weird. It just seems really weird that a concept that was definitely created to make sure workers would do the most work and make the most profit, and probably for the least pay, so that you could keep them coming back to continue doing the most for the longest for the most. I think that's what they want, right? And it's interesting that time management is always in response to needing to do a job or needing to do schoolwork to get you towards a job. They never tell you about how to manage your time taking a walk in the park, enjoying your family, playing World of Warcraft. None of that shit is a good use of your time, presumably. Because you gotta prioritize, right? But what's a priority? The more you start digging into it, the more it starts becoming clear that the only things that we have come to societally engage with as priorities are things that have to do with having a job. And having a job Well, that's only supposed to be part of your life. It's not supposed to be. Shouldn't there be 2/3 of your day left? Well, then wait, but no, you actually need 8 hours for sleep, so there's half of your day gone, actually. But still, that's not the whole thing. There's a whole other half there. So what's happening here? And why is it that, just like Cave mentioned, there are all these books by rich people with suits telling you about how you're doing your time management wrong? The power of the habit. Oh, God, that's rich. More importantly, to whom is it a priority? Exactly. So, coming back to here, 3 types of time management: planning, prioritizing, and performing. I think that's actually good. I think these are things you do need to do, but prioritizing is the big word. If you are concerned with how you manage your time genuinely, and not as a bit, where we use this sound effect a whole bunch and pretend that people actually care about what we're saying, prioritizing is huge. And what you need to prioritize depends on who you are as a person. Me, personally, I have a few things I need to prioritize. It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's for me, where like, I'll start doing one thing that gives me energy to do my work, and then that energy is running low, and I can't reuse the first thing, so I have to go to the second thing. So maybe let's say the first thing was breakfast, and then the second thing could be a workout. And at the workout, I might socialize, where I get a little bit of a third thing. And then after I work, I'm satisfied. And once I'm satisfied, well, I have leftover energy. And then where do I put that? Well, I can put that towards just enjoying the rest of my day, presumably. Unless I want to keep doing more work, which I'm sure is what these people think prioritizing is. But like, on an ideal day, once you've done work that you think is sufficient, you should stop, right? What brought this topic up? I'm so confused. The topic was brought up by me. This is a stream specifically just to point out that time management is, like, not real. It's not real. It's not a real thing. It's all lies. None of this is a real fucking thing. And if you've ever been told that you need to have better time management skills, you need better time management skill. It's not a skill. It's not a fucking skill. You can't manage what isn't yours. That's the whole point. That's what I'm talking about. There is no such thing as time management unless you're like in charge of a bunch of people and when they clock in and clock out. You can manage other people's time. You can't manage yours. A lot of time management shit that you will hear is people saying, oh, well, you should just totally, like, just do less of the things that you don't need to be doing. If you go on a walk and you start, like, slowing down and looking around at things, well, just don't do that as much. If you listen to music while you work and you start, like, bobbing your head and jamming to a song that you like, well, then just be able to stop yourself and not do that and keep getting your work done, and then you'll have more time later for cool things. But the issue with that is that all of the things you would be cutting out that make your time more quote-unquote manageable are things that are intrinsically human. And they're shit that you need to be doing. Like, it just sucks. It just sucks to be in a position where you've been told 1,000 times to manage your time better. And the truth of the matter is that you can't really do that. Because if you try to do that, you'll be cutting out things that matter to you. You can try finding things that matter to you and allocating more time to that, and then that'll make you happier, and then you'll produce better work, maybe faster, and then you can stop working. But regardless, you should always stop working as soon as you have the opportunity, because you don't need to be working your whole day. The point is, there's no point to time management. Eat that frog, book in the lower right. Yeah, we'll go over there. Let's take a look at why I've been looking at that too. 21 ways to stop procrastinating. What? The international bestseller. There just isn't enough time for everything on the to-do list, and there never will be. Successful people don't try to do everything. They learn to focus on the most important tasks and make sure they get done. There's an old saying, the first thing you do in the morning, that if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing it's the worst thing you'll do all day. Using eat that frog as a metaphor for tackling the most challenging task of your day, the one you're most likely to procrastinate on, but probably the one that you will have the greatest positive influence in your life. Okay, so that's not untrue. I don't know why it's a frog. I don't know why, like, your time management has to take a life, but I guess that is how Walmart does it. They just outsource all of their work to people who are far less fortunate than they are and say they can deal with it. But, like, if you do the thing that you don't want to do first in a day, you are probably going to spend less time belly aching over it. And that's great. But why does it matter? Like, why do I care whether or not I eat the frog in the first place? But make work easier for everyone so we don't have to swallow frogs. That's a pretty good point, isn't it? Start your day with vor. We'll see, maybe for Kaizen, eating that frog would be incredible. Not because it's time management, but just because Kaizen likes to swallow things. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really important for Kaizen. But yeah, basically, I want this stream to be us discussing... Let's talk about Laura Vanderkam. She says some fucking shit about time management. She's told... There was a video that Ego sent me that I watched that talked about her briefly. She told a story in a TED Talk. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. How to gain control of your free time, right? She told the story of a woman who could not find 7 hours in her week. If someone told her, like, oh, do you want to use 7 hours to exercise or train or do this thing? She'd be like, no, there's no time for that. But then, like, a critical piece of infrastructure in her home broke, like it was leaking water everywhere, and she had to get, like, repairmen to come fix it and people to clean the carpets, and she had to, like, replace all the food that spoiled because water hit it. And, like, that took up 7 hours in her week. And it was like, see? As soon as you had to use 7 hours, you had that 7 hours, but you were just pretending that you didn't have it before. You should stop doing that and instead just have the time. Which is like really wild. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if I pulled out an AK and started shooting it in the air, I bet you'd find the 2 hours in your day to try and get away from me and calm down after your dramatic experience. But you can't spend 2 hours, like, doing a little bit more work or getting that one thing you wanted done. And it's like, that's not how time works. You're still going to have the same amount of time in a day. You can't, unfortunately, get that power up from Crash Bandicoot 3. It's not real. And it sucks that people are constantly turning to time management as a way to improve their lives, because the truth of the matter is that you kind of got to be happy with how you are. You can learn how you work and learn how to get specific things done in specific ways, but to manage your time as a whole would mean taking control of everything that controls your time, which you can't do so long as we don't have universal basic income for everybody, right? Like, if you're able to succeed on your own without a job, well then that's great. If you have a small loan of $1 million, sure, you can manage your time. You don't need a job. But otherwise, everything that you do requires that you think about what your job means first. And the way that we have societally taken time management in as an idea, rather than seeing it as some ridiculous tactic to get people to work in a factory, is just kind of weird to me, and I don't like it. The stream is kind of a short one, conceptually at least, but that's like the root of it really is time management was created by capitalism to make sure you did more work for them for less money, and we have put it in schools, and we have said that people who do not have quote-unquote good time management are less, like, valuable, and that's the whole thing, right? And people just accept that at this point. Nobody stops and thinks about how the concept of time management is bad from the beginning. But it is. It's like having a landlord, right? You could say, oh, I want to manage my time well. Well, what's taking up all my time? My job? Okay, I'll just get rid of my job. Fine. But then you can't make money. Just like how landlords will be like, well, I mean, it's not bad to rent someone out homes because they could just choose to live somewhere else. But of course, they could choose to live with a different landlord. But if they have a landlord, they probably can't choose to just own property. They don't have enough money for that. So, like, technically, they want you to believe that you can choose to do better things with your time more efficiently. But as long as you live in a system that requires you to go to work to make money, you can't actually escape. You can't actually not have a landlord. That's not how that works. Until you're able to overcome your, like, instability that, like, gives you not enough money to have a landlord. And God knows how hard that is. If some things suck and take all of your money, you should definitely just rip the band-aid off. This extends outside of work too, though. Prepping food, doing chores, etc. Yeah. But, like, that's just kind of the thing, is it sucks. And the main point here is I want to talk about time management, just to kind of get that idea across. I know I'm coming out the gate swinging this stream, but first of all, I hate this woman. Get out of here. You've been debunked. Fuck you. I guess on the more positive side of things, knowing that time management isn't a real thing can get you more in tune with what is important to you. And that's what you should focus on. Like you want to smooch. Like, this is a good use of my time. Mwah. Wonderful. So, like, what the hell was the shit in here that I wanted to talk about? We've probably already covered it. Blackout distractions? Oh my god. The amount of times that we've had conversations on stream about how when I was in school, my teachers would just tell me to stop being distracted. Just don't! Oh, it's so annoying. And I think I don't know, it's just fucked. The whole thing is just fucked. I think this hit me as such a revolutionary, like, anger-inducing thing, just because I remember in college, like, scrambling for time management. I wanted more than anything to be able to do more shit with the time that I had, and I ended up not spending time on what I cared about. Asks a child to have self-control? Yeah, exactly. I stayed up really late last night. Way later than I should have, and I got past a threshold where I knew that I would wake up late in the morning, and I was certain of that already, but I kept staying up. And one might say, oh, that's bad time management, but it actually wasn't. It fucked up my sleep schedule, sure. And so I woke up later, and I have less time today before the sun goes down, and less time perhaps to spend doing certain things, but I spent that time watching Rumble play Final Fantasy VII. It came up near the end of the stream, and then after the stream he talked about it because I was saying that I was going to play Final Fantasy IX with Ego and I hadn't seen other Final Fantasy games besides 14. And Rumble was like, well, I have the 7 remake and I'm like halfway through the part 1. Do you want to just watch me play it for a while? And so I sat there, and he like went back to the tutorial and played through all of it, and it was just a really neat experience to just like spontaneously do some shit. And I wouldn't have traded that for another thing, because that was kind of the spice of life, right? And I feel like a lot of times what I was told as a kid is stuff like, oh, well, if you're not wanting to go all the way with something, then don't do it at all, right? Like if someone offers you like, oh, do you want to go to the store, or do you want to go out to eat with me, or something like that, and you don't think, oh, absolutely, then your answer should be no. Like if you're just okay with it, then you shouldn't do it. But honestly, that's no way to live a life, really. Like if you don't take up anything that you don't immediately think will be a good use of your time, then you're gonna miss out on a lot of shit you didn't know. Like, I wasn't necessarily interested in Final Fantasy VII, but I wanted to hang out with Rumble. And I was like, yeah, okay, I could do this. But genuinely, after hanging out with Rumble, I really, really want to play Final Fantasy VII now. And I'm even more excited to play Final Fantasy IX. Should that perhaps happen today with Ego? Or maybe a different day? And that's shit that I wouldn't have felt. That's an attachment to these characters and this, like, experience with art that I wouldn't have had I just said, oh, I should go to bed, actually. And I think that's valuable. There were so many times when I decided that I had to stay home and work instead of go out with my roommates in college. And I was like, yeah, they're just doing the same thing they always do. They're going to the same Chinese restaurant and having the same experience. But they weren't. Sometimes they would go with different permutations of people. Sometimes they would go and get different food. Sometimes they would talk to the waiter and they'd have some shit going on. Like, there's so much shit that you miss if you spend your time thinking about managing your time. Because I guarantee you, there is not another reason on earth that you're trying to manage your time unless it's about work. There's just not. People who are not thinking about work do not think about time management. They do the thing they want to do, and if someone asks them to do something, they can schedule that, right? They don't have to be like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to do my laundry before that if I want to be able to fit in cardio after that, because they have 16 hours in their day to just fuck off. And like, That's the way to live. It just kind of it stuck with me. I sat up last night just thinking about this, thinking about like why I cared about my sleep schedule. And like sure, it's because I want to be semi-consistent so I can have healthy sleep and feel nice when I wake up. And that's important. But going to sleep a couple hours later isn't gonna fuck that up. I could stream at any time. That's a privilege that I have in my job. So why am I worried about when I wake up and when I go to bed? And it's just this. It's just this. And all of these searches that people are constantly looking for. There's not really a point to it. If you're not thinking about what your job requires of you, there's not a point to time management at all. I also have thought, and this is maybe controversial, but I've thought about my art and what I've been doing with it and how I've been spending time on it, and it's difficult because I had like a mental breakdown immediately after taking the most commissions I've ever taken at once. And I've been guilty for almost 2 years trying to get all of those pieces done. And I felt like shit the whole time because I haven't been getting them finished as fast as I wanted them to be finished and as fast as I assumed the other people wanted me to have them done. And as I've gone through those commissions, and I'm still getting through them, each one that I finish, they never mention, it's been so long, or, I don't want this anymore, you took too long, can I get a refund? Like, it's always, ooh, I'm excited, you got to me in your queue. And I kind of like, I thought about that. I'm like, I don't know if it's because they know what I'm going through or what, but for some reason they weren't concerned with my time management. They were just concerned that I intended to do the thing. As long as I wanted to get it done, they were fine with waiting. And that's kind of marvelous to me. I don't think it should be. I think it should be normal, but like, I'm just realizing that even though it's taken me a long time to get over that mental breakdown that I had back then, it didn't change the quality of the work, and it didn't change how interested people were in getting it. And I had never been able to figure out what the difference between them and any other boss was. And I think it's just that they're just people, you know? They're not trying to have this corporate hold over me. They just paid for a thing and they want to get the thing. And if I'm having trouble getting it to them in a manner that I thought I would, they're actually more concerned with me than with the product. And they don't have to be that way. They could be more concerned with the art. They could be yelling at me about it. And a big part of me thinks they should. But they don't. That's important to me. It's like the first time that I have failed at something, time management wise, and there just hasn't been a consequence for it. Things just moved forward, and I kept trying, and they're happy to see me keep trying. And until December of last year, 2022, I had never had that thought cross my mind, right? Isn't scheduling time management? You're managing time in a schedule. Scheduling is time allotment, but you can't manage it. You still only have the amount of time that you have to schedule. Time management is a myth because it specifically tries to get you to reach an unattainable goal of giving yourself more time in a day. Time management is trying to make you think that you can get to a point where you'll be like, oh, I genuinely have nothing to do. I can just relax and not feel anything looming over me. And some people can get there, but most people, especially the people who are looking for time management skills, will not get there through time management skills, at least. And that's the issue. It's the issue of caring so much about it that you forget to care about yourself. And that is shit. We should care about ourselves first. I don't even have an alarm anymore because I'm on my own time. I just do my own stuff in the morning. Yeah. So in short, this was a very short stream to just kind of restate a thesis that we've already had on stream before, but this stream's entire point is to say, you are the biggest priority. And whatever you think might possibly enrich you is worth your time. And so it's hard to get priority set in a way that feels quote unquote efficient because you're not a robot. You're not a machine. You have things that you need to survive and you have things that you need to enrich your mind. And that's unique and special and cool. And none of these help articles or people or this fucking guy.
Alright, so, over the past...
Yeah, sure.
Right now, I'm filming this video. Tip number 1 is that we absolutely...
You don't! Alright, nah, fucking... Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy so much. Yeah. Spend your life recklessly doing things that you love doing. I would say if you need to work to make money, which I would, probably assume you do that work. And then after that work is over, try to not think about time management, but rather just do things as they come to you. That's my advice. Because as soon as... Like, if you do things as soon as you think of them, you will get things done. Like, if I look to my left and see the trash that I have in a bag next to my desk, I can pick that up and take that out right now. If I decide not to do that, well, then that won't get done in that moment, but I could make it done in that moment. That's the most time management I think anyone needs to worry about, is just think about task, do task. If task doesn't get done and something else needs to be done, or you want to do something else, do that something else. Don't stress about it. Don't try and, like, really, like, conk out an entire fucking new way of thinking over it. Just be you. Hell, if making schedules is part of what makes you, like, able to do things, then that's great. But don't beat yourself up if you can't complete the schedule. It's not what it's about. Your goal isn't to complete the schedule. Your goal is to have a tool that makes you feel more fulfilled with what you do with your life. And all of those time management books, the secret is the whole point is that you don't actually figure out how to do it, so you keep getting more time management books. Not knowing what the fuck you're doing and being imperfect, that's the spice of life, baby. That's what we're here for. It's good as hell. Hello, Stripey. We were just discussing how time management is garbage and shouldn't exist. And now, something else. Ego is here. Bragging about using employees in exploited nations and shit. Oh yeah, that fucking guy? That fucking guy. God, that guy. I would like to be less imperfect. I think we all would. And that is supposedly something worth striving towards. I don't have any problem with that. But stressing over being less imperfect is stressful. It doesn't get you anywhere. And Zifik is here. And how are we gonna be, when such a good boy's around, how are we gonna be upset? Time management is stupid. There just need to be more hours in a day. Yeah, like 8 more every weekday. I think that'd be really good if we could have 8 more hours every weekday. Wherever some people might be able to find those hours. Violent revolution or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure there's somewhere you could find them someplace. Cryptids are friends. Boy, hello, Zifik. You know what would solve all of this? Smile. I know what would solve all of this. It's you going and following my friend Zifik.
Big Kevin Monster Chid X10 shows what you know. The anxiety and stress of not having a job gets me to plenty of places, like where I work, and then back home.
That's pretty true. That's what got me here, and it's what gets me in bed. Ugh. I'm streaming Outer Wilds. How the hell was Outer Wilds? And also, what the hell am I going to listen to now that that album is over? I need to go over here. We could do this one. That's fine.
3, 2.
While I see what's going on with the boyfriend. Outer Wilds DLC, which you should play. Oh yeah? Should I? Are you going to make me play it, Zifik? You're gonna get all up and start rumbling in my ear, and I'll be like, and I'll do whatever. Probably not. I'll beat you up. If you insist, I obviously insist. I brought it up, and I'm gay. You should do it. I'd love to just work 20 hours a week. What a dream. Oh my god. I don't even, like, sometimes I look back on how much time I spend doing streams and then how much time I spend, like, doing art after I'm done doing streams. And I don't like thinking about that number because sometimes it's the entire day. Like, 16 hours. The whole day, sometimes. But also, the work that I do is genuinely fun. Like, it sucks the life out of me, but not nearly as much as previous jobs that I had, especially the jobs that we've discussed that did not care for any accommodation for my very many problems. Ego. Ego, 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 ego. What do you want to do? What are you up to? How are you doing? Are you prepared to heckin' play videos game? And also, how are you feeling? Do you think you have enough energy to actually start an entire JRPG, or should we just hang out? Are you peeing right now away from your keyboard and therefore unable to answer? Are you talking to Okay, I have energy. Oh my god, he has so much energy. Look at this. Gonna mute. Be in soon. Alright, chat. Well, it is time to shift gears. A JRPG, you say? Oh yeah, I definitely do say that. Also, speaking of JRPGs, maybe shit. What if I was wrong? Turn the bull, welcome in. But what if I was wrong? What if this whole stream was just not even real? What if I'm getting debunked?